Imagine being this pretty. I have a lot to go through. I had 60. I think I got it down to 45 because what I like to do is I like to give my anticipated releases like as early as I can. I already have my 2022 list ready. I have like 5 books on my 2022 list already. So a lot of these books have been sitting there for a minute. You can even see that I added them. I am not going to go too much into the description because personally I don't like knowing too much about a book before I go into it, and I really just go based off of trigger words, trigger phrases, or the cover, to be honest. So I'm gonna leave my Goodreads link to my 2021 anticipating list, and then you guys can look through them and read the description for yourself if you're a description person. But some of these books I'm not gonna know the description of, and that's okay. The first book I have is actually a book I own, and this is the Castle School for Troubled Girls. And to be honest, I only wanted it because Mika got it, and I was like, I love that cover. I love art covers. I do not know why. Like, art covers are so pretty to me. It doesn't even matter what it looks like. And so I was like, I want that art, and like 2 days later it showed up, and I was like so happy. But anyways, this is about some girls, some creepy stuff in a boarding school, and I'm pretty sure it's like dark academia, and y'all know I don't care. Like, if it's dark academia, I'm gonna read it. So before I get into this video, for real, I do want to mention some authors that I hope are gonna drop books this year. So I really hope that Margaret Rogerson drops a book. She is my favorite standalone author. I loved Enchantments of Ravens. I've loved Sorcery of Thorns. I love everything she creates. I stalk her on Twitter, so she has said that she hopefully is going to get the book out this year, but she doesn't want to promise anything because I do be stalking her. And then I also really hope that Elizabeth Acevedo drops a book this year, because she usually drops a book every single year, obviously, and there's nothing on Goodreads yet. She usually drops them around April, May, so I'm really hoping, I'm saying dropping them like it's an album, but I really hope that she releases something this year. And now actually on to the releases. The first book we have is The Taking of Jake Livingston, and this is by Ryan Douglas. This is his debut book. He is an author that I follow on Twitter. We've been mutuals for a while. I personally consider him a friend. Taking of Jake Livingston is this book about this boy named Jake who has this power to see ghosts, and I believe he's moving to this new town, and his older brother's fitting in very well, but he's actually struggling to fit in, and everything gets even worse when he sees the ghost of a school shooter that happened around him, and bodies in his town start to turn up, so he starts to get really suspicious. This is probably the only book I know that much about, and that's because he was supposed to release this book last year, but like, this book has been on my radar for a literal year, so that's the only reason why I know so much about it. And then I have Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. Now, I don't know if this is like my most anticipated release. It was last year and it got pushed back. And I read another Jay Kristoff book last year. And I didn't really like Nevernight, so I'm kind of nervous to go with Empire of the Vampire. I really love vampire books, as you guys know. Like, that is my shit. Like, who doesn't love vampire books? So I really love them. So I can't wait for it, but I'm also really nervous because I haven't really liked his work so far, but I don't mind trying an author's work even if I haven't liked their previous work. The next book is Counting Down With You. This is by a Twitter friend of mine, and this book is about a girl from Bangladesh, and she is basically going to be fake dating the bad boy of the school for like 28 days, and Tashi talks about this all the time on Twitter. Like, she shares clips of like her writing, and she's been sharing fan art recently, and I've been eating it up. You know, I love fake dating. Like, who doesn't love a good fake dating trope? And the fact that it's a Bangladesh girl, like, I love women of color getting their own fake dating story. Like, I'm eating it up. So I'm very excited for this book. I haven't been telling you the release dates. I am such a failure. The Taking of Jake Livingston comes out July 13th. Empire of the Vampire comes out September 7th. Counting Down With You comes out May 4th. Okay, so the next book I have is Motel by Penelope Douglas, and there actually isn't anything about this book. It just says standalone. It doesn't even have a release date. It just says standalone contemporary romance, but it is rumored to be a sapphic romance. Penelope Douglas has never written a sapphic romance before, but she wrote some really messed up dark romances, so imagine a really messed up dark romance sapphic. I'm gonna eat it up. The next book is That Way Madness Lies, and this doesn't have a release date. It just comes out 2022. And this book is basically a Shakespeare retelling anthology. So it has a bunch of different authors. It has Lily Anderson, Brittany Cavallero, Tunchiani Bucci, like a bunch of like YA authors. And then the next book is Chain of Iron. And this one comes out March 2nd, and I'm so excited for Chain of Iron. Chain of Iron is the sequel to Chain of Gold. I do not like the Chain of Iron cover. I said I wasn't gonna buy it, but I was a lie. Like, I need to buy it. Basically, last year I read all of the Cassandra Clare Shadowhunter Chronicles in February, and I ate them up. I love them so much. Chain of Gold became one of my favorite books. Cordelia Carstairs is my favorite Shadowhunter girl. The ending of that book was just so like, I need it now. So I'm very excited. And the next book is called The Corpse Queen. This has no release date, no book cover. This literally has absolutely nothing, but it's coming out in 2021, and this is about an orphan girl named Molly Green who goes to live with her aunt in 1850s Philadelphia, only to discover that the source of her aunt's secret wealth is from robbing graves and selling bodies. I heard that and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I need it. I added this April 10th, and it hasn't been any more information since, I guess. But the next book is A Dark and Hollow Star, and this is actually one of my most anticipating books. Like, this is up there. I have been harassing I've been harassing somebody. I've been harassing some company to send me this dang book. So this comes out February 23rd, and this is a sapphic romance. It is a fairy book. Y'all know I love Fae, so of course it's like my most anticipated book. And then we have The Heart Principle. This is going to come out August 17th, and I'm so excited. This is the third book in the Kiss Question trilogy. Well, I don't know if it's a trilogy, but this is the third book in the Kiss Question series. And this follows the brother of the second book, but the cousin of the first book. And it's about Quan, and Quan is my favorite character, and I'm so excited to be reading about him. And then there's Act Your Age, Eve Brown, which I actually have the arc for, but this comes out March 9th. And it follows the last Brown sister. No idea what this book is about. I really don't care. It's a Brown sister book, and I will be eating it up. Then I have Twice Shy, and this comes out April 6th, and this is by Sarah Hogel. I loved her other book. I forgot the title of her other book already. This isn't a series or a sequel or anything, and I really like that she is not making it a series or anything. Like, there's nothing wrong with companion novels and stuff like that, but I feel like romance books do it a lot, and it's like, I want to see authors' abilities outside of like their little companion books they have, I guess. But this one is about a grumpy ex-sunshine character. I really don't know what else it's about, and I don't care. I really love the author's last book, so I'm so thirsty. Oof. Water is so... We should be thankful for water. Next book is The Dragon and the Dove, and this is the third book in the Raven and the Dove series, and this comes out June 21st, 2021. No, I have not read The Raven and the Dove yet. I read the prequel and I liked it, and I know I'm gonna like these books, so I don't care. And I'm obsessed with these covers. Like, I cannot wait to have all of these covers on my bookshelf. Like, they're so great. The Crown of Gilded Bones. This is the third book in the From Blood and Ash trilogy, or series. It's not a trilogy, it's a series. There's going to be a fourth book, and then it's going to be a book from the male character's point of view. I love them so much. If you haven't read From Blood and Ash already, like, what are you waiting for? If you love romance, if you love fantasy, if you want more romance fantasies, pick it up. Like, I'm not even going to tell you what it's about. Just pick it up and you won't regret it. Vampires, fantasy, romance. That's all you need to know. Okay, so the next book is The Project by Courtney Summers, and this book comes out February 2nd. I have no idea what this book is about, and I actually have no idea why this is on my anticipated release. To be honest, I've never read a Courtney Summers book. It's a thriller, it's a YA thriller, and I'm not really into YA thrillers like that. But the next book is The Last Graduate, and this book comes out July 6th. If you guys don't know, I love Daily Education. It is my favorite book of 2020, and it's like my all-time favorite book. It's a dark academia book, and it's just very Mayana. And then they have Nowhere by Brandon Sanderson, and this is Skyward, the third book in the Skyward series. It has no cover and no release date. Then there's Cast and Fire, and I don't know what this book is about, but It comes out January 19th, so it comes out in a few days actually. It says two royal heirs arranged to be married, but they made their own arrangements, and this is very obviously a Charlie Bowater cover. The next book is For the Wolf, and this is my most anticipated release. This comes out June 15th. All of my anticipated releases come out this summer, which I feel so sad because last year they all came out at the beginning of the year and I was like happy and chilling, but like low-key during the summer I was like bored. But anyways, this one is a series, and this one is it's for fans of Uprooted and the Bear of Nightingale, and it's very dark, and it's supposed to be a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, and one of my favorite fairy tales is Little Red Riding Hood. Anyways, so the next book is A Darling by Kay Akram, and if you did not know, Kay Akram is a Black author. She also wrote The Wicker King, and this one is a Peter Pan retelling. Can you guys tell that I'm happy? It's a modern day Peter Pan retelling, so it's like, well, I don't know if it's modern day, but I do know it's 100% contemporary. So the next book is The Hawthorne Legacy, and this is the second book and the Inheritance Games. Cover is so beautiful. I'm so glad. I was so nervous. I'm always nervous for my sequels, like my favorite book sequels, to be ugly. So the next book is Survive the Night by Riley Sager, and this is basically about this girl who gets in this car and she thinks that the person in her car is a serial killer. And I remember seeing this, there's this app that used to promote this video. It was this ad on YouTube all the time, and it was about this girl who would get in this car with this serial killer, and it was like a game of cat and mouse. And if it's anything like that, I will personally probably really enjoy it. I never end up watching the movie because they kept promoting it so much where I got annoyed, but I personally really wanted to check it out, and it sounds really good. But the only thing is, I'm not the biggest Riley Sager fan. I really loved his book from last year, but the years before that were kind of like womp womp, you know. So I'm really nervous to read this book, but I'm also really excited at the same time. Then the next book is Every Last Fear, and I'm excited for this one because basically I found out about this because Lala had this theory that this author is the same author, AJ Flynn, who wrote The Woman in the Window. Because first of all, that man, I love The Woman in the Window, but the story behind the man who wrote that book is so intriguing, like, and not in a good way. He basically lied about having cancer, and AJ Flynn isn't even his real name. So this man is a little it's a little lost up there for him, because he never released another book after that. So if he pulls off like just being a one-hit wonder with The Woman in the Window, but like still wanting to continue writing thrillers and just came up with a new name, that it wouldn't surprise me because he's already had scandals before. And so Lala just came up with this theory, and I'm gonna read it because I love The Woman in the Window. There's no proof that these are the same two people. There's no proof at all, but it's just very funny because the author name is Alex Finley, and then there's AJ Flynn. But I love The Woman in the Window, so I really want to read this because I want to be able to compare the two and compare the writing, and just see if I can be able to tell if this is the same author. And even if it secretly is the same author, I love The Woman in the Window, so I'm probably gonna like it. And I love the cover. There's no proof. Once again, there's no proof, but that is it's a theory. And Lala has now gotten me hooked and obsessed with this theory. The next book is Kingdom of the Curse, and this is the second book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. I'm very excited for this book. Once again, I forgot to tell you when all these books came out. I'm so sorry. Kingdom of the Curse comes out October 20th. It says October 26th, but the author said October 5th. So I don't know which one is confused here, but and then Every Last Fear comes out March 2nd. And Survive the Night comes out July 6th. Hawthorne Legacy comes out September 16th. These Hollow Vows, this book comes out July 20th. And I have no idea what this is about. It says for the fans of Cruel Prince and A Corner of Thorns and Rosie, in this sexy action-packed fantasy about a girl who's caught between two treacherous fairy courts. Oh no, I love my Fae books. So I'm about to be eating this book up. A love triangle? Fae books? Oh girl. When I tell you this book's about to have me by the neck, okay? And then the next book is Ace of Spades, and this is my most anticipated release. And this book comes out, this 400 pages? Oh my gosh. This book comes out June 10th. And this one is, I don't even know what it's about, and I don't care. But the cover is pretty. The art cover is pretty. And the author on Twitter said that her main characters, this is like a set in a boarding school, and it's about two black characters, and they're supposed to be Dan and Blair from Gossip Girl. A black Blair. I'm shaking. I'm shaking. And then the next book is Gear Breakers. I don't remember what this book is about. The author is really pretty. The cover is really pretty. It's sapphic and it comes out June 29th. And then there's A Dance with the Fae Rogue. And this one is by Elisa Kova. This one comes out November 3rd. This is the same author who wrote A Deal with the Elf King. I'm kind of scared to pick up this book, but it's a Fae book. And I read every Fae book there is. And then I have Such a Quiet Place. And this one comes out July 13th. And I don't know what it's about, but it's a quiet small town thriller. And you guys know those are my favorite kind of thrillers. So I'm about to be eating it up. Then I have For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. This comes out July 27th. And this one is about a prestigious private school. But instead of following a student, it follows the teacher. And then we have A Lesson in Vengeance. And this comes out August 3rd. And this is a sapphic dark academia book. Y'all know I eat it up. We also have Blackout. And this comes out July 22nd. There's no cover yet. This is about a bunch of black authors and it is an anthology series. We have This Poison Heart. And this is once again, one of my most anticipated releases of this year. And this one comes out July 15th. And this one is just about a black girl with a unique and deadly power. She can grow plants from tiny seeds to rich blooms with a single touch. And it's basically giving me Layla from Sky High. And like, it's my entire aesthetic. Like, you guys know I love plants. I love the greenery. Like, this is my entire aesthetic in a book. Of course. And then we have Midnight in Everwood, and this is a This is a Nutcracker retelling, and this comes out in November. To have a date or a cover. Then we have Covet and Court, which is the 3rd and 4th books in the Crave series. My favorite thing is when there's an author who drops multiple books of their series in a year. Those kind of authors, they need more recognition, okay? They are the backbone of the book community. Covet comes out March 2nd and Court comes out September 28th. And then It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I don't know what this is about and I really don't care. It's by Tessa Bailey and I loved her other books that she has. So, I'm gonna eat it up. And then we have Squad, which this is the only graphic novel on this. It's a sapphic graphic novel about girls who dress up and get pretty and they lure boys. They lure creepy boys who do creepy things, you know, and then they kill them. And then we have The Shadow of the Gods, which comes out May 6th. I have no idea what it's about, but it has a dragon on the cover. It is a adult fantasy and I'm really excited. Then we have The Lights of Prague, and I got this one from Brittany's video, which I literally just watched, and it comes out May 18th, and it's about vampires, and I really didn't pick up anything else from that video, and I really don't care. I heard vampires, and I checked out, and I was like, okay, that sounds good. And so the last book I have is Wings of Ebony, and this one comes out January 26th, and it is a black teen from Houston who has her world unattended when she learns about her godly ancestry. And I was like, that sounds really intriguing, and I think that would be a really good book to pick for the hotties. So I'm personally really excited for the book. I'm so excited for all of these books, and I hope that I put some new books on your radar, and I probably can do another one for the end of the year, I guess, even though most of my books literally were for like literally May through August. Yeah, and then if you want to take a sneak peek at my 2022 one, you can, because I like to prepare. That is it for this video. I hope that you liked it. If you stayed to this long, leave an rose emoji, the dead one, the dead rose emoji. That's my favorite emoji. And then I'll see you guys in my next video.